Hey, what's up guys? This is Guy here. The video you're about to watch is a lab that I created on KBTrainings.com for the course on the CCNA 200-301. So the course goes from zero to engineer and you learn all the concepts you have to know on network and security to be able to take and pass the CCNA exam. And of course, the goal is not only the exam, but the goal is the knowledge that you acquire during the process so you can boost or start your career in the IT. So I have over 100 lessons or videos available on KBTrainings.com. Go there and start your journey today. The link is down in the description, and if you have any questions, send me an email. I'll be glad to respond. Thank you guys and enjoy the lab. Hey, what's up guys? This is Guy here with KBTrainings. This is the lab number 5.4.5 and we are talking about cloud architecture. Of course, in the last few lessons, we saw what is virtualization and how it's used in today's data centers. That enables the cloud as we know it today. So this is a lab where I'm going to use this server here. I have a physical server with me. This is the Dell R710. It's a physical server. And we are going to use this server to install VMware ESXi. As you know, virtualization is that process of taking a bare metal server like this one here, install a hypervisor on top of it, and run multiple virtual machines instead of running a single operating system like Windows Server on this device here. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to install the ESXi. We're going to download it first and then we are going to install it here. So right here I have an example. We have two CDs. This one is ESXi 6.7. This is actually the one that I'm going to install because it's compatible with my server. It's actually an old server that I will probably give away or just get rid of it. And I have the 7.0 that I also downloaded. This one is not compatible with what I have here, so I'm going to use the 6.7. So yeah, this is what we're going to do today, and we'll talk about hypervisors and virtual machines. So for this lab today, we are going to cover these different points here. First of all, I'm going to show you an example of a type 2 hypervisor, which is a VMware workstation that I have on my computer right here. And then I'm going to show you how to install a type 1 hypervisor like VMware ESXi. We're going to download it on VMware's website and use it. We're going to create two VMs. We are going to have a Windows and a Linux. We are also just going to connect those VMs and ping them, ping each other and so on. So we know what a hypervisor is. It's that software that you install to be able to create multiple virtual machines on your computer. So what I'm going to show you now is an example of a type 2 hypervisor. So you can see that my computer is running Windows 11. You can see the Windows icon here. And on top of the Windows 11 that I'm running, I have a software called VMware Workstation. The icon is here. So VMware Workstation is a hypervisor of type 2. As we know, type 1 can be installed directly on a bare metal server. An example of a type 1 hypervisor is VMware ESXi. And then we have type 2 hypervisor, which can be installed on top of another operating system to create virtual machines. Here we have, for example, VMware Workstation that I'm using here with you. So this is VMware Workstation, and if you look here, we have 5 virtual machines already created here, and 2 of them are up and 3 are down. So we have a GNS3 server, this is a Cisco router, this is a wireless LAN controller, and we also have a Windows 10 computer, and I can show you those computers here. This is the GNS3 server that's running, and this is the Windows 10 VM that's also running. I can click here and that's something. Yeah, I was doing some manipulation to the computer. I can create a lot of VMs on my computer. Right now, my computer on my desktop has 96 gigabytes of RAM or random access memory, so I can use this whole 96 by creating multiple VMs on this computer, and they're going to share the same RAM, same CPU, same storage, same networking. VMware ESXi, that's what we're going to download today and install on this server. So to download, you just go on Google and search download VMware ESXi. you click on usually the first result. It will bring you to VMware's website. You need to create an account, and it's free. You don't have to pay anything. So you can actually download ESXi to use it for evaluation, and you can also insert some information. They're going to ask you for some information on you, what you're doing with it, what kind of services you're doing, and so on. So just put that information, and you can download a copy of ESXi. Here we are downloading 7.0, and you get the image on your computer. Once you have that file, depending on your environment, you can have, like me, two options. I can use a bootable USB to install, or I can use a disk, a CD. So if you want to use USB, I usually use a program called Power ISO, and you go there, you go under Tool, and you create a bootable USB. But I prefer, I mean, it's kind of complicated with my old server to use a USB, so I prefer using a disk. I burned a new CD with this file on it, with this image on it. And when we come to the server, I just turn on the server. Open the CD reader and insert my disk. And then the installation is really straightforward. You need to make sure that you are booting from the CD. You don't boot from the actual internal drive if there's any data on it. So make sure that you can go under the BIOS and change the order of boot, or you can manually, like, do F11 for the server, for the Dell R710. You can do F11 to go to the boot menu and make sure you boot from the CD reader. And then from there on, you start the installation. It's very simple, very straightforward. You'll have some confirmations to do here and there. And then you also have to select where you want to install your hypervisor. I selected one of my disks here and moved on. One of the other main thing you need to set up is the root password. You're going to set up the password for the root user for your system. It's going to reboot a couple times, and then at some point it's going to reject the media itself for the CD. And after that, it will go through the installation process and will give you an IP address. By the way, talking about IP address, this server has 4 1 gigabyte interfaces, as you can see here. So I'm using one of these interfaces to connect to my home network. And also I made sure that my home network has a DHCP server enabled so that the server will get an IP address without any problem. So when everything is done, the server will grab an IP and you can see that IP on the screen. So this is the end of the first step. Then you go on your computer that is in the same network and you access the admin interface by using that same IP address. So when we plug in the IP address, this was made the next day, so it went from 242 to 243. So when we go to the IP address, we log in to the account using the root password that we set during the installation process. And then from here, oh, by the way, it's 60 days, not 90 days. So from here, we can see under host, we can see all the details about our installation. We have the version 6.7 of ESXi. It's been up for 0.07 days. And we can see that we are using some CPU, some memory, and some storage as well. Because I already have 2 virtual machines, I'm going to show you how I install them really soon. And this is giving us details on our CPUs. I have 2 CPUs with 12 cores each, so it's like a total of 24 cores. And then this is the IP that we are using for management on this server. And here under storage, I created a new storage because by default, when you create your new installation, you only have the data storage where you installed your hypervisor. But you need to go under create new data store and create a new data store for your data. I created data right here. And under networks, and okay, going back to data, you also need to upload your images. We will need images to create our virtual machines. If you go under data store browser, you can see that I have a couple folders here. These are created by the virtual machines, but this one named ISOs, this is where I uploaded the images that we're going to use for our computers. And you can come here to upload if you want to add a new image here. So that's it. And under networking, you have we have a single virtual switch, so we can create as many virtual switches as needed on here, but now we just have a single one. And we have 2 VLANs on it. We have the management VLAN and the VLAN for our networks. So if we go under the vSwitch 0, you can see what it looks like. Here you have the uplink port, which is the physical port where we have our cable connected, and we have the VM network with the two VMs that we are going to create, and then we have the management VLAN on this side here. So you can add as many virtual switches as needed and as many VLANs as needed as well. So that's it for the introduction. Let's go ahead and start the creation of those two virtual machines, and then we come back later to explore them. So if you like what I'm doing, don't forget to like the video on YouTube to promote the channel, and also subscribe to the channel to get notified when I post new videos interesting like this on any topic that is related to IT, network security, and so on. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Okay, what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to come here and click on create new virtual machines and go on next. So they're going to ask me the name of the computer. I'm going to name it Windows. Compatibility 6.7, that's good. Guest, what is the family or the OS family that I have here? This is going to be a Windows. And what is the version that I'm going to install? I think it's a Windows 10. Let me double check on my images here. Yep, 64 bits, Windows 10. And then virtualization security, I don't need it. I can go on next. And here it's asking me where I want to save my virtual machine or where I want to store it. So I'm going to store it under data, and I'll click on next. So here I'm going to give all the options or characteristics of the new computer or virtual machine that we're going to create. The first option is the CPU. So I have the option to give as many cores as I want, because I have all the way to 24, because my server has 24 cores. I can give this one 4 cores. And what is the RAM on this? I can give it maybe 32 gigabyte of RAM. And the next one is hard drive. I need to give it 100 gigabyte. So here I can share the resources from my physical server with the virtual machine. So the SCSI controller, I don't need it, but I can just leave it here. I don't have a SCSI disk needed. In terms of USB, I don't need the USB controller, so I can just remove it from my virtual machine. So the virtual machine will not have a USB controller. So when it comes to network interface card, I have one adapter here, so I can attach it to any network I want. Here I put it under VM network. If I had many virtual networks, I could have had many of them here and select whichever is appropriate. But for now, we just have a single VM network. So that's where I'm going to put all my virtual machines. And then when it comes to CD and DVD drive, I need to tell exactly what am I linking it to. Here, if I have a server that has a DVD drive, I can just link it to the host device. So it means that the CD drive on the VM is linked to the physical computer. But here I'm going to link it to an ISO file that I have. And of course, I can have the image here. So at this point, I don't have the ISO image already uploaded here. So what you need to do is create a folder. In my case, I create a folder that I'm going to name ISOs. And then inside this folder, I'm going to upload the images that I need, or the OS that I have. So I can go under downloads and VMware. And I'm going to upload the Windows image, and then I'm going to upload the Linux image. All right, so now we have our two files uploaded in the data store. So I'm going to double click on the Windows 10 image and attach it to my CD drive. For the video card, I think I can skip that. I'll go on next. And this is showing us the summary of what we are about to create, and I'll just click on finish. A new task has been successfully completed, and we have a new Windows computer created here. So the computer is available. You can see here, and we have one there. And if we click on here, the computer will start itself, and it's asking me to click any key to restart it. But because I didn't click on time, so now I have this menu here. What do I want to boot from? I can select the virtual CD-ROM, and of course you need to click inside this window so you can use or control this computer with your keyboard. So I can go to the second option, which is the VMware virtual CD-ROM, which is the CD drive to which I attached the image. Okay, when it restart again and I click on the key, it's going to start the installation of Windows. And at the same time, when this one is installing, we can push it on the side and create a new computer for our Linux computer. I'm going to create a new VM and give it the name of CentOS, and family is going to be Linux. And what distribution? I'm going to take CentOS Ace because I have 9 stream. I don't know if it's gonna fit, but I think it will. Let's see what I have. I have the CentOS stream 9. Okay, this one is it can fit. All right, so I click on next, and here it's asking me where I want to store my computer under data, and then next. Here we can give it 2 CPUs and give it 12 gigabyte of RAM and 32 gigabyte of processor. I mean of hard drive. I don't need the SCSI here. I don't need the USB, but it can stay there. And Windows, it need my input here, but I'm gonna finish with the Linux and we'll go back there. Okay, for the network, I'll leave it under the VM network. For the image, I'm going to attach what I uploaded. So I'll go here and you can see there is a folder here for the Windows computer. So I can attach it to the CentOS image, and that's it, and click on next. And here we have the resume of what we are going to create, and I click on finish. So it's there, and I can also start this computer so the installation can start. But let's go to Windows and finish what we have here. So it's just like a regular installation. This is the language. I click on next and I can start the install. It's just like any regular Windows installation. On the Linux computer, I need to choose what I want to do here. Of course, I'm going to install CentOS Stream 9 and enter. And it's going to restart the installation. I see there is some input needed here. Let's see. It's asking for the key, but I don't have the key for now, so I just don't have the product key. I'll click on that. And I'm going to use the evaluation version. So what version do I want to install? I'm going to install the Windows 10 Pro. And this is some image that I grabbed from the internet, so it's not what you get from a Microsoft website. So it might look different when you're doing your own installation. And here it's asking for the license terms. I'm just going to accept and click next. And here, do I need to upgrade or custom? I think I can just go with custom so I can see exactly where I'm going to install my OS, and click on next. And that's it. I'll click. Yeah, now it's going to do the copy and so on. So going back to the CentOS stream, it's asking for the language. I select English and click on continue. What's going on? Okay, yep. All right, so here I need to create the root password. I'm going to create a password that is root password 22 and repeat the same thing. And I can come under the disk to select where I want to install my OS, and done. And then it's checking the disk, and now it's good to go. So I'll just click on begin installation, and it's going to install the operating system, and Windows is copying all the files and so on. So right now I'm going to skip the whole process. It's just a regular installation of an OS on the computer. I'm going to skip it, and then we will get together at the end when everything is installed. Alright, so we have our 2 computers installed, or 2 virtual machines. They are ready to be used. We can come in on Windows and check to see if we have any IP address. So I'm going to... Alright, so we have our 2 computers installed, or 2 virtual machines. They are ready to be used. We can come in on Windows and check to see if we have any IP address. So I'm going to do ipconfig here, and you can see that I have an IP address which is 10.35.0.190. That's very good because I'm now connected to my home network with this virtual machine, and I can also do the same thing in the Linux computer. I can go under terminal and type ifconfig. This is a Linux command. I mean, if you don't know some of this, I'm going to create more Linux lessons on my YouTube channel, so make sure you are subscribed to KBTrainings. So ifconfig will show me that I'm using 10.35.0.66 for this computer, which is good. So I can come here to ping the 10.35.0.66, you can see that I can ping it without any problem. So I'm able to connect or ping between these two virtual machines. I can even use secure CRT to do an SSH session to the Linux. So it's 10.35.0.66 and the user is KBTrainings. Okay, and we're going to use the password. Let's go ahead and connect. The password is going to be KBTrainings. Yep, now I have access to the Linux computer from this secure CRT window. I can see where I am. I'm under home, KBTrainings, and so on. All right, guys, that's how easy you can virtualize your environment. With a single server, we can run multiple virtual machines. In our case, we have a Windows computer and a Linux computer as well. Alright guys, thank you for watching the video, and all the lessons are available on KBTrainings.com. If you like it, go on the website and you're gonna find all you need there. If you like the video, like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel to see more, and follow me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and bye.